Hey folks, how you doing? I am out running some errands real quick. It's a beautiful sunny day. And I wanted to, while I'm out running around, I've got a few minutes, I wanted to send a few words about he's not interesting at all, about a person who has shown up in my comment section due to Quinca. Now, this guy, Mickey Farley, I think his name allegedly is. And you gotta acknowledge one thing. YouTube and the people who use YouTube being what they are. And we have to be honest about that. Quinca could be playing an elaborate hoax. I don't know the guy well enough for that. Possible. Who knows? I'm gonna go ahead and assume this Mickey Farley guy's a real guy. Because the syntax of his printed comics is different enough to make me think he might not be Quinca. But anyways, I wanted to address this because this guy seems to be missing some fairly important points. One, I would direct him to the video that's pinned on my channel page that says my rules for video making. You should probably watch that if you haven't. And two, now this actually goes not just for Mickey Farley, although if you're watching this, sir, take it all personally. However, this goes for everybody who uses sock accounts and impersonations and gets fucking hung up on people, right? You're a loser. I mean, just flat out fucking you are a fucking loser if you do this. And there is no other way. You may be having fun, you're still a loser. Right? My first interaction with this Mickey Farley character, he came on my channel with an imposter page set up to look like Quinca, trying to pretend to be Quinca. Now, like I said, I don't know Quinca well, but I've had enough comment exchanges that I've come to recognize the syntax of his typed sentences. You know, and he actually makes videos where I can see his face. And that helps me a lot. I read faces, right? So I just, my first interaction of you are lying. You are pretending to be somebody you are not. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And your first impression is one of falsehood, right? Whenever you do that to anybody, even if they're thinking or not thinking, whenever your first impression of somebody is an impression of falsehood and they know it, you will never, ever be trusted by them. Their first thing in mind is you're a liar. Now, me personally, I hate liars. I hate them with a fucking passion. Because liars are the people who are out there to fucking screw you over because they think, they're better than you and they can. I hate liars. That's not, of course, to put people into the perspective of exaggerating a story for entertainment purposes. Look, never let the truth get in the way of a good story, sure. But you should never be a liar. You should never lie to people about anything that's important, And your identity is one of them. So, this guy comes on my channel, and he starts fucking talking down to me about everything. Really? You should have gotten a little bit more familiar with me. You would actually realize I don't give a shit. And in fact, the comments that you're leaving on my channel are a very, very good representation of what I hate about YouTube and YouTubers. I absolutely hate that part about them. And you, apparently. You see, most YouTubers don't watch a video to understand the video maker. They don't watch a video to try to figure out what's going on in his head. Where is he at? Why is he coming to these conclusions? It doesn't matter whether or not their conclusions are right or wrong. Why are they coming at them? Sometimes that can be informative, right? But they're not doing that. When your average YouTuber watches a YouTube video, they are watching to respond. They want to hear their opinions coming out of your mouth, and if you're not going to give it, they're going to respond with, you are wrong, why? And that's not necessarily the purpose of videos. Not everybody wants that kind of conversation. Not everybody wants a conversation. Some people are just trying to express an idea. You may notice in these last few videos I did, I used the word hypothesis. If you're as well read as you pretend to be, you would understand hypothesis is a scientific word for what if. Hey, here's an idea. Let's run it up the flagpole, see who salutes. Let's throw that turd against the wall, see if it sticks. It's a fucking hypothesis. Everything I'm talking about in these videos is a hypothesis. I'm postulating what if ideas. Hey, I'm thinking this might be the way. What if? And you don't seem to get that. You're not playing along with the what if. You're like you think. The way to be cool in life is to fucking talk down to everybody and to be the know-it-all. No, that's how to be the dick that nobody wants to spend any time around. That's how to be the person nobody likes. And you're doing a good job of that. Sure, there are some people who want to debate. There are some people who want to postulate. These are what I think are facts. Prove me wrong. I'm not. I don't care. I'm just thinking, throwing up a what if, right? And it's funny. You keep harping on, I mentioned Daniel Dennett and Consciousness Explained. And they keep harping on that. But the more you harp on it, the more you show you probably didn't read it. If you did read it, you didn't read the whole book. And if you did read the whole book, you didn't understand it. More importantly, you're not understanding me. I am not doing a critique strictly on that book. If you fucking opened up your fucking idiotic ears and listened, I mentioned Consciousness Explained by Daniel Dennett, but I also mentioned Quantum Psychology by Robert Anton Wilson. Why don't you make a few comments on him? I also mentioned Aleister Crowley. Take a deep dive into Aleister Crowley. I dare ya. I am referencing shit from like 10 different sources. That's why I'm bringing it together into such a vagary, right? Because to put it together in something concise, that would take months, if not years, and it would practically be a doctoral dissertation. I'm not doing that. I'm too fucking lazy. And I don't think I have to. I'm just postulating what ifs, right? And you see, why would you want to postulate these what ifs? Well, there's a reason for that. Because society is being manipulated. We truly are. And the people who are manipulating us are using what they understand about our consciousness, about the way our brains are wired, about our psychology. And they're using it against us. And not enough people understand these subjects to fight back. And granted, anybody who's watched my channel for a long time will tell you, I'm a high school dropout. I have no education beyond high school. I have no college. I am an autodidact. I have a 130 IQ. Not that I feel IQ actually matters. I have a 130 IQ. I'm an autodidact. I'm a self-directed learner, right? I can learn anything I want, but only so long as it holds my attention. And I get bored as shit quickly. That makes me one of these people. I know a little bit about everything, but not a lot about anything. It's a detriment in that. Does, however, make me murder on bullshit artists. Because I usually know enough about most subjects to figure out if I'm being lied to. And if I don't, and you make it interesting, I'm going to compulsively research it. I won't be able to help myself. I murder on bullshit artists. You know? But you see, that's kind of where I'm getting at with you, Mr. Mickey Farley, if that's who you are, and whatever your fucking game is. Which, you know, people who do that shit, right? You don't understand that you're never going to achieve what you want. If, in fact, what you want is people to like you, respect you, to hold you in some sort of esteem, you're not going to fucking bully and control your way into that position. You're not going to talk down to people and have people respect you. You know? You're not going to be duplicitous and have people like you. Right? You are constantly put in a position where the only response is, oh, this guy, fuck you. And that's pretty much where you're at. I really haven't addressed you in comments. That actually shouldn't actually, you know, be surprising to anybody. My comments, I have arthritis. I don't like to type. Okay, you're not going to get a lot of comment discussion from me. And if you get more than a paragraph, it's because I actually give a shit. I'm mentioning you in this video. In this video only. Mickey Farley, I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I don't think you're intelligent enough to respect, for the simple fact that you're not intelligent enough to know you should come at some people straight. By straight, I mean honestly. You know, you don't understand that. You think you can... I don't even know where you're coming off with your fucking attitude. You know, it's not like you got a PhD or any of that shit. You're just an asshole with a webcam. Like me. Like Quinca. Like any other fucker. We're just assholes with webcams. We have no authority. We have no position. We're just people fucking talking shit on the internet. Because it's entertaining to us. Some people, I used to enjoy the conversation. There used to be a conversation on YouTube that was worth having. Where people were interested in what you had to say. And they wanted to understand you as well as argue their points. And have a discussion. At a certain point in time, it stopped being that. And it started being, fucking, let's make fun of this guy because we disagree with him. Let's get fucking views. Let's make some money. Ha ha ha. Don't give a shit what anybody's saying. And it turned into the fucking shit show it is now. You know, where YouTube is actively doing what it takes to scrape us content creators off. They don't want us. Right? And I don't blame them. We're a pain in the ass. Right? When they actually tried to court the content creators, they were dealing with fucking pieces of shit like you. The fuckers creating fucking fake accounts and trolling and not being able to leave anybody alone, harassing people. I don't like what you're saying, so I'm going to do whatever I can to make your life hell. You're the worst part of everything, right? The absolute fucking worst part of everything. If you ever felt about doing terrible things to yourself, I would support that. Explore those options. So anyways, I'm done with that fucker. We're over. I'm actually going, you believe it or fucking not. And actually, okay, going back to this video where I'm talking about, you know, what is a thought, right? And part of that video going, hey, you know, sometimes a whole bunch of people get the same idea at the same time and they don't know why. And it's like they're tapping into collective unconscious, right? So I'm reading through articles and stuff and various things that come across on my Facebook feed. Lo and behold, it's a pinned into a response to a Quinca comment because I figured he's the only person who actually gave a shit. I ran across an article in Discover magazine. It's still technically considered fringe science, but a whole bunch of scientists are now coming onto the idea that reality waves collapsing in microtubules inside our brain is the basis for consciousness and thinking. Almost exactly what I was coming up with on my own. I'm not saying I'm fucking, anything or whatnot. I'm just saying I'm thinking, I'm tapping into that part of the collective unconscious when I'm thinking. I'm thinking a collective unconsciousness is more and more possible. Not in the Jungian sense where we're dreaming, but in something more fundamental, But anyways, I wanted to come around to that because I'm actually going somewhere with this. With what I think consciousness is, the collapsing of reality waves, what is a thought. I'm trying to build a baseline of opinion. And actually, I'm coming up to a gun-free zone, so I need to dash my gun real quick. So I go out, take care of business, and come back in. But I'm trying to do that because there is a concept I want to postulate as an atheist that is a difficult concept to wrap your head around. But I want to I think it's possible, even as an atheist, I don't believe in God or religions or all this shit. I think demons might be real. And I want to explore that in my next video. But I am at my destination, as gun-free as it is. And so I'm going to make this as quick as possible, in and out.